let's go into the Niguma text a little bit. This is an 11th century yogini. She was presenting this, what typically would be called Mahayana, but in a very interesting way, in a very tantric yogi kind of way. And she was able to present the five paths and the 37 factors of enlightenment in this Dzogchen Mahamudra type of style. And I love it because it's very real. It basically says your suffering is illusory, and so awakening is also illusory. Mhm. And that makes sense in the face of primordial purity. Okay, so let's get back to it here. It says, one should know this through the purifying base empowerment, the secret empowerment of inseparable white and red essences, and the third empowerment, which is the aspect of bliss, and the fourth inexpressible empowerment. So you can see these in a Dzogchen context. Of course, it's a reference to the four empowerments, but with the nature of mind, you start to these aspects of the four lights through clear light basically rest in awareness, and your body's made out of light, and so knots of conditioning start to untie throughout these very what they call them chakras. They're very powerful center points throughout the body, and those start to liberate out through the practice. And that is the empowerment here. By the way, speaking of the practice in short sessions, this is a little off topic, but Doja, I wanted to say if you want to go longer sessions sometimes, it's fine. I was talking about consistency. So if you're doing consistently 15 minute, 15 minute, 15, and I'm doing 10 minute, 10 minute, then we have an inconsistency, right? But every now and then, if you want to do a long sit and torture the people, it's fine. Maybe go half hour, whole hour, filter some people out. Yeah, I just wanted to remind about that because we were talking about etiquette a little bit in the group environment. I'll just remind, I like to keep, it's always been like a little meditation hall here. And so I like to keep that kind of etiquette if possible. Mm. So, yes, go ahead there, Oza.
Hello. Audible? Is working? Working.
Mhm.
Super. Just on the red and white essences, it's reminded me because they are kind of reference to these kind of bodily fluids. What do you think about like seeing the body as something, uh, kind of either as light or as the mandala and so forth, or seeing one's own body as something like the Vidyadharas and so forth? Do you think these are kind of in any way relational, or are they just kind of previous and wholly? Do you think?
Probably previous Yana generation and completion stage. In Dzogchen, luminosity is self-revealed, so your body's revealed as the deity, as Kuntazampo, as pure Buddha. And so, of course, they're also dealing with the white and red channels and the central channels. There's generally three channels that they talk about in Anu Yoga. So that's what we're hearing about here.
Oh, super, super. Okay, that was the context.
Yeah, remember, this is technically a kind of Mahayana text, but we're extracting the view out of it.
Super. Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you.
And so she continues here with stanza 12. Where there is bliss, clarity, and non thought, there the three kayas are naturally arising. Clarity without concept is twofold knowledge. Could be relative and absolute. Skillful means and wisdom. Okay, so the paths, stanza 13. Since calm abiding and higher insight, which is shamatha and vipassana, are combined together, and since it is supreme and one desires to arrive, it is called path. Yeah, and technically we are pathless here, aren't we? But people just really want to have a path. You've seen this. People have actually chastised the Dzogchen approach for not having a path, even though it kind of does. There's an appearance of self-liberation. So there is a phase 2 and phase 3. There is a path. And it could take a while for self-liberation to fully initiate. So anyway, and remember that this is corresponding with the 5 paths. And here it says, the path of accumulation. The path of accumulation is to renounce vice, however small, and take up virtue, gathering accumulations in order to realize the illusion of the nature of phenomenon. So the gatherings, usually they accumulate wisdom and merit. And it's different because when you start out in the Dharma, they have you accumulating, for example, mantras are accumulating merit. And people are thinking, I'm creating good karma. And so you recite all these mantras that you think you're accumulating merit and wisdom. Obviously, in Dzogchen, that's antithetical. You can't accumulate wisdom. Wisdom is always here. But this is provisional. So it says there are greater, intermediate, and lesser levels, each formulated with further fourfold divisions: 4 mindfulnesses, 4 renunciations. So that's why I ask you to scroll up a little bit, Yeshi, because when they comment, I cannot see. So 4 mindfulnesses, 4 renunciations, and 4 supports of miraculous action. And we will go through some of these just for fun and correlate them to Dzogchen. So stanza 16, it says, carelessness is impaired mindfulness. Carelessness and impaired mindfulness cause downfalls. Therefore, mindfulness is explained first. To practice mindfulness and awareness of the illusion of inseparable appearance and emptiness of this heartless body as the victor's body is the direct application of mindfulness to the body. And so here we're going over the 4 foundations of mindfulness, which we always talk about in the group. And we talked about them today: your body, your thoughts, your feelings, and the environment. And those are all naturally in awareness. Remember, we did that little practice? You don't have to place your body in awareness, it's already in awareness. You don't have to try to be aware. Awareness is already on and active and wakeful and purely present. You don't have to try to be compassionate. Your compassion is waiting for you underneath the contrivance. Same with confidence, empathy, it's all there. So the reference points of pleasure, pain, equanimity, and the sensations of all designated phenomenon, understood as mere sensation, are the direct application of mindfulness to sensation. All phenomenon are mind, yet mind will not be found inside or outside. Mind not existing at all except as illusion is the application of mindfulness to the mind. Shravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas label all things as phenomena. To know them as random labels of mere names is the application of mindfulness to phenomena. So you're getting a kind of a Dzogchen version of the 4 foundations here. 21 says, suffering is caused by non-virtues. Since those who desire freedom from it regard all non-virtue as though it were poison, there are 4 genuine renunciations. Now I can't remember the 4 genuine renunciations right now, but we'll probably end up going over those. Huh. But here it says suffering is caused by non-virtues, since those who desire freedom from suffering regard non-virtues as their poison. There are 4 genuine renunciations. So again, it's provisional. They're renouncing uh, things, taking rules, taking vows as the path, which sometimes is necessary. And it says, in order not to generate vice and unvirtuous factors that have not arisen, arouse determination, effort, and attention to fully engage in what is genuine. And if you can do this, fine. I ran into along my path a lot of people who were being told, hey, you need to arouse your joy. You need to arouse your bodhicitta, your determination. And they just couldn't. Life can be debilitating, from our diets to media consumption to social interactions. It can be hard to just turn yourself into a joyful, determined Dharma practitioner all of a sudden. So I did see this a lot, and one of the reasons why I stick to pure Dzogchen too. And then let's see what's in the comments here. Victor's sharing, first clinging, or these are the 4 renunciations, huh? Clinging to this life, clinging to future lives, clinging to self, clinging to reality. Ah, okay. Yes, I think that's right. Thanks, guys. Yeah, that's great. Always good to have more info. Okay, Yeshi, we can pause it there. Not bad. We're making it through this a little bit. It's a complete curriculum, so it starts off with provisional, and I think it goes into some really great, like enlightenment stanzas and everything. So I appreciate you so much. Are there any final thoughts, comments, questions as we're going through this one? Yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah, I'll jump in for a second. It's interesting we're talking about clinging to these things, and it's like you're not even clinging to those things, you're clinging to thoughts of those things. It's not, you're not in future life to cling to. You're here right now. There's no, you're just clinging to thoughts of these 4 things, you know. It's
Crazy.
crazy. That brain, it'll trick you.
Yeah, we cling to stuff that's not even there all the time.
Yeah. 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 Anyway,
That's the whole dilemma, even when we're reifying, like, oh, look at that piece of pizza. It's not there, and neither are the sensations.
yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Anyway.
Thanks for the reminder, Tal. Okay, Ray, did you also want to join in?
No, sorry, that was a mistake. Sorry.
No worries. You guys. Oh, yes, please.
Sorry, man. Get my thing down. Is the Dzogchen stuff here is like pretty explicit, but it's like just on the other side of the twilight language line. Is that am I reading that correctly?
Exactly.
Then you're looking at that, go, that's just a really explicit pointing out instruction. But a year ago, if I'd been reading this, it would just have seemed like, the kind of they just talk about their brains glow, whatever. But it's got this kind of the stuff's there, and is that because Niguma was expecting this to pass in front of people's eyes that might just click and get it just from reading it? Because I think I can't remember if it was Longchenpa does say that does happen just to some people. They just read about it and boom. Is that why she's putting it in there? Because it does seem really close to the surface.
It could be, but to me, it also seems like she's taking these 37 factors of enlightenment, which basically were a curriculum like at Nalanda probably at the time, and she's saying this is enlightenment. You have, she's basically, to me, it's very rebellious. It's like when they took regular music and made jazz or rock and roll or something out of it, right? She's taking this, these 37 factors and these 5 paths and just sort of turning them out. And so I don't know how much she cared if people understood it or not. Yeah, so it's an interesting read to find that out. She's presenting it very, very comprehensive, like you would, like if you were a math teacher, you'd be presenting everything to your students, very comprehensive and straight up. But it's almost like she comes in with an electric guitar and starts in the middle of the math class and gives it to you in a whole different way, and then sticks in stuff that's, to me, it seemed like it would have been controversial at the time. She's basically telling these Mahayanists that their whole thing is illusion. So anyway, she's the fun teacher, I guess. To me, I get all kinds of impressions of a kind of rebel, a rebel here. It's an interesting topic in itself. Yeah, go ahead there, Oza.
Just to add like a side note, I love kind of speaking in terms of that, like rebel nature and so forth, because there's kind of a tendency I feel to flatten the whole history and make it so that, like, there was this one correct path and then it got, like, corrupted by some people, and then this is the right thing, and those are kind of the branches of the tree, but we need to get to the root of it. But in the whole history, there's so many interesting, like, things that are both innovative and also things that are ancient that were kind of like far away geographically from each other also. And I think it all really adds to the multiplicity aspect, the kind of oneness of the teachings. It's talked of very often, but the difference and multiplicity, I think it's a bit rarer to find, right? That's just what I wanted to add.
Yeah, I think this is unique. Definitely unique. Unique presentation. Okay, well, anything else going on then? All right. Yeah, we've had these people throughout history, Dujam Lingpa, and lots of Turtons and people who have just we're doing that. Our group is actually doing that. We just present the teachings a little bit different, but we don't neglect a single thing. Not a single noble truth, not a single one of the perfections, foundations of mindfulness. That's what's great. When you come here, you can either learn that stuff or not. But you can be confident that everything spoken here is based on the fundamentals. And I think once you decode it and everything, it becomes a little fun, that, wow, I can be rooted in my, like anything. When you're good at math or you're good at football or something like that, soccer, then eventually you get the fundamentals down so well that you're able to have a little fun. Okay, very good. Well, thanks for exploring this text with me. I'm also learning as I go and also decoding the Twilight language. I think she caught me slipping a little bit today with the 4 renunciations. I was supposed to be ahead of my game with that one, maybe. Because I also like to have fun decoding the Twilight language. Is one of my favorite things to do. And I have definitely felt Niguma, this kind of energy with us, and maybe you have too in your life, some some little special Dakini stuff happening, you know. And then we have new people joining the group who happen to be female and things like that. And I'm not trying to get gender binary or offend anybody, but you know, when we read these texts, it's sometimes there's these energies that come with the texts. It's pretty amazing. So on that note, anybody who wishes to join, yeah, I think energy is beyond gender, Ray. Yeah, it gets compartmentalized and things like that. So I definitely don't mean to disrespect anybody's worldview or anything. So anyway, I think we can do 3 white taras since we're on the Dakini side of things right now. And this would be for the benefit of all beings. Remember, there are many beings in this presence that are suffering, like me, because little bear's on my stomach. Animals that are alone and injured and sick. There are people that are alone and scared. Children that are being abused. Elderly people that are confused and have no health care. Lots of beings in this presence. And so we just do these 3 mantras, giving them all this compassion and realization, anything that we have in this presence. Om Dare Tu Dare Dure Mama Yo Punye Jan Putin So Om Dare Tu Dare Dure Mama Yo Punye Jan Putin Guru So Om Dare Tu Dare Dure Mama Yo Punye Jan Putin Guru So. And we'll take a moment of silence for the dedication. And deep bow to you, everybody. Have a beautiful day.